All right, so today we're going to jump into this ancient letter from the Bible, the book of Colossians. And trust me, it has this incredible metaphor for what it means to truly change, a complete, top-to-bottom spiritual makeover.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever felt just buried under a mountain of rules? You know, that constant feeling that you're not quite measuring up and someone's always there kind of looking over your shoulder, ready to judge you?
Well, it turns out that feeling is nothing new. Almost 2,000 years ago, this small community in a city called Colossae was dealing with the exact same thing. They were being told flat out that they just weren't good enough. But here's the twist. The advice they got wasn't to just try harder or to follow an even stricter set of rules. Nope, they were told it was time to get a whole new wardrobe. And that idea, that spiritual makeover, is what we're going to unpack today.
So what was the problem, exactly? Well, some teachers had shown up in town, and they brought with them this massive spiritual checklist, and they were judging everyone based on how well they performed. And I mean, the list was specific. People were getting called out for what they ate and drank, how they celebrated holidays, even how they observed the Sabbath. These teachers were pushing for some really harsh self-denial. It's called asceticism. And they were getting way into the worship of angels and having mystical visions. They were essentially creating this exclusive club with a velvet rope made of their own rules, telling everyone else, sorry, you can't get in unless you do it our way.
But the response to all this? Oh, it was a total game changer. The letter says, hey, all those rules, the food, the festivals, all of it, they're just a shadow. They're like a faint outline pointing to something real, but they are not the real thing. The substance, the reality itself, that's found in Christ.
Okay, so if more rules aren't the answer, what is? Well, the solution doesn't start with changing what you do. It starts with a radical shift in how you think.
And this is absolutely crucial. Before you do anything differently, you have to think differently. The instruction is to set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. It's basically a call to shift your entire focus away from this earthly rulebook to a heavenly reality.
So what does above even mean here? Well, the text says Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Now, in that culture, sitting at the right hand of a king or a chief, that was the ultimate power position. You were the second in command, the one with all the authority. So this isn't just about a physical location, it's about aligning your mind with the one who's truly in charge.
And this leads to this incredible image of security. The letter says your new life is hidden with Christ in God. There's this great analogy called the coconut dynamic. Picture this. You are tucked safely inside of Christ, who is then tucked safely inside of God. It's a picture of this profound, double-layered protection, a place where you're completely safe from all that outside judgment.
All right, so once you've got that new mindset, that new foundation, the practical makeover can finally begin. And like any good makeover, step one is getting rid of the old stuff that just doesn't fit anymore.
Now, the language here is intentionally intense. It's not messing around. It uses two really strong commands. First, to put to death a whole list of things, mostly to do with sexual immorality. And second, to strip off another set of behaviors, which are all about destructive anger and how we talk to each other. It's like taking off a dirty, old coat you've been wearing for way too long.
But you don't just empty the closet and leave it bare, right? Of course not. After you strip off the old, it's time to fill that closet with a brand new wardrobe, one that actually reflects who you are now.
And it's presented as a direct trade. You don't just stop being angry, you actively put on compassion. You strip off that old coat of wrath and you put on kindness. Malice gets replaced with humility, slander with meekness, and lying with patience. See, every single negative has a specific, positive, virtuous replacement.
And here's where this personal makeover suddenly has these massive social consequences. Because putting on this new self doesn't just change you, it completely redefines your entire community. It starts tearing down all the walls that we humans love to build up between each other.
I mean, just look at this list. In this new community, the old labels just vanish. Greek versus Jew, the biggest ethnic and religious divide of the day, gone. Slave versus free, the fundamental social structure of the entire Roman Empire, gone. It even includes barbarian, which was a nasty term for anyone non-Greek, and then Scythian, a group that many people back then thought were the absolute lowest of the low, total savages. I mean, think about the lines we draw today. This was radical then, and it's just as radical now.
So why? How is this even possible? Because in this new reality, none of those old labels matter anymore. The only identity that counts is the one you share in Christ. he becomes the great equalizer. As it says, Christ is all and is in all.
So, you've stripped off the old clothes, you've put on the new virtues, compassion, kindness, patience, the whole set. But there's one last absolutely crucial piece that holds the entire outfit together.
Think of it like a belt or a really cool outer coat that just unifies the whole look, making sure every single piece works together perfectly. Without this one last item, the makeover is totally incomplete.
And that final piece is love. The text says, and above all these put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Love is the ultimate virtue here. It's not just one more item on the list. It's the very thing that connects all the other virtues and makes them work together to create a beautiful, coherent new you.
So as we finish up, this ancient letter kind of turns the question back on us, doesn't it? When you look at those two wardrobes, the old and the new, you have to ask yourself, what old clothes in your own life are you ready to strip off and leave behind for good?